This video is brought to you by Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876 309 6128. That's 876 309 6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876 586 0471. That's 876 586 0471. This video is brought to you by Starboys Juices. Infusing fruits with sea moss in Philadelphia and New Jersey. Refreshing and nutritious. Call Starboys at 1-267-904-3454. That's 1-267-904-3454. Hey guys, thank you so much for taking your time out to watch this video in particular. But let me give you an update on a channel called Sport City. Yes, Sport City. It is a channel dedicated to everything related to Jamaican sports. Football, cricket, athletics, netball, rugby league, rugby union, tennis, lacrosse, swimming, you name it, we got it on Sport City. And what is the channel designed to do? It is designed to highlight Jamaican talents across all of those sporting disciplines. If you're a Jamaican and you're playing that sport, then we got you covered on Sport City. So it's quite simple, guys. Hit the subscribe button to Sport City right now.
Hi everybody, I'm Darren Moore and you're watching Reggae Boys Commentary.
I'm Javon Watson and you're watching Reggae Boys Commentary.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? I hope you all are doing well. I'm Simon Preston and welcome back to Reggae Boys Commentary. This is the platform where we come together to discuss everything in relation to Jamaican football. This is your hub for everything Jamaican football related. You guys doing okay? It's Tuesday, and guess what? Well, look at it this way, right? It's a big one, and I'll explain what I mean when I say that in particular. In relation to the under-20 Reggae Girls getting a victory today, we're so proud of them. If you guys haven't already, hit the like button to this video now. After you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Okay, guys? Tennessee Lewis, how are you doing, man? Hope you're doing good, my friend. Hope you and the family are doing good. So, guys, hit the like button, and after you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button to Reggae Boys Commentary, okay? So with all the formalities out of the way, a gentle reminder before we commence into the details of this video that you hit the like button and also check out the interview that was done with Ryan Thompson as well earlier today, so you guys can rewatch that video in relation to Ryan Thompson, the journey with his academy, and also the new coaching position that he has right now within the United States. All right, guys, so that is something that I would implore you guys to watch, okay? So we're looking forward to you guys. So, the Africa Cup of Nations. Let's get right into the matter now. As you guys know, there are regional tournaments in every region. So, in CONCACAF, it's the Gold Cup, right? In South America, it's the Copa America. In Europe, it is the Euros. In Africa, it's the Africa Cup of Nations. In Asia, it's the Asian Football Confederation Cup, Asia Cup. And in Oceania, the OFC Nations Cup. 6 confederations. There's not one in Antarctica because Antarctica doesn't have a football confederation yet, but there's no one. So there's 6 football confederations across the globe. And if you look across those football confederations, the CONCACAF Gold Cup have had invited teams. The Copa America has also had invited teams as well. And there's been some conversation for some time about the UEFA inviting South American teams to the Euros in the future, once it doesn't clash, the Copa America and the Euros doesn't clash, that is something that has been considered as well. In 2027, the Asia Cup is also considering having invited teams within their tournament as well. And as we know, we've had Qatar at the last Gold Cup, and also they will be at this Gold Cup as well. So there, we've had invited teams at the Gold Cup. We've had Ecuador, we've had Peru, we've had Colombia, we've had South Korea, we've had South Africa, we've had Brazil. We've had invited teams at the Gold Cup. Feels like I'm missing out on one, but those are the invited teams. And Jamaica has faced Colombia more than once at the Gold Cup as well. And as Jamaica's played South Africa as well. So Jamaica has played invited teams at the Gold Cup. So January 2024 is the next edition of the Africa Cup of Nations. Currently, the African Nations Cup qualifying is taking place for the 2024 cycle. So right now, you have a couple of teams that have booked their tickets. So just to give a bit of context into things for the tournament was supposed to be in 2023. However, there's been some adjustments, and that's the reason why the Africa Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast will take place January next year. It's a 24-team tournament. The Ivory Coast, of course, as the host nation, will be there. So is Morocco, Algeria, South Africa, Senegal, Burkina Faso, and Tunisia, right? So those are the 17 that have been there. That's 2024, remember. In 2025, the Africa Cup of Nations, either for the 2025 or the 2027 edition of the Africa Cup of Nations, the Confederation of African Football are considering the possibility of having invited teams to the tournament. Now, as it stands, the Africa Cup of Nations is a 24-team competition, right? 24 teams compete in the tournament. This tournament began back in 1957 in Sudan, where there was 4 teams. It expanded to 8 teams in 1968, the year in which Ethiopia hosted the title. And then it expanded to 12 teams in 1992, expanded to 16 teams in 1998, and then went to 24 teams in 2019 when Algeria defeated Senegal. So currently, we've had 2 editions of the Africa Cup of Nations, which has featured a 24-team event. However, it is being considered the possibility and opportunity of expanding the Africa Cup of Nations from 24 teams to a little bit more than that, potentially 28 or even 32 teams in the future. And when it comes to invited teams, let me take some of the comments that are in here. Tennessee Lewis, hope you're doing well. Mr. Galaxy says up. So that's the situation there. That's funny, Rob Smith. Very funny, I must tell you. Shaquille Turner says, we're getting to that point. We're getting to that. Let me speak. All right. So remember, for quite some time, the Africa Cup of Nations took place in the month of January, remember? And 2013, remember 2015 as well, and 2017. But 2019, remember, the tournament shifted from being a January-February tournament for the first time in its history to be a June-July tournament. This was 2019 when Algeria won the tournament, right? So in 2021, though, there was an adjustment. That's right. For the 2021 edition, which was played in 2022, it was adjusted back to a January-February tournament, right? And for the next edition, which is January next year, the Africa Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast will take place from January 13 to February 11. So the competition of it being a January-February tournament is being put back on the table and been confirmed for the 2024 tournament, and also under serious consideration for the 2025 tournament as well. Now, in relation to persons or teams that are being considered for this opportunity of being invited to such an Africa Cup of Nations, so the Confederation of African Football are looking at 2 continents in particular, one being CONMEBOL and one being CONCACAF. And I'll explain the reasoning for it as well. The Confederation of Africa is trying to continue to develop relationships, partnerships, trying to develop networking abilities. And in a way, it's, I don't know if you want to call it poetic or if you want to call it a helping hand, but I'm going to explain. Centuries ago, we know that millions of Africans were taken from Africa to the Western Hemisphere. And what the Confederation of Africa has said is that let's reunite these players whose ancestors came from our continent to have an opportunity to play in the tournament that we grace. An opportunity for these players whose great, 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 great grandparents came from the continent that we are on today so that they can be able to be in the motherland, so to speak. So that is being considered. Brazil, for obvious reasons, being considered because many millions of slaves left the west coast of Africa and went to Brazil. There are also slaves that went to other countries in South America. I know you guys did your history as well and would know the history about the Caribbean and also North America by extension. So we don't have to go back to the 15th century for that sort of history lesson. But CONCACAF is under consideration. And certainly Jamaica being the largest Anglophone speaking nation in terms of population after the United States and Canada is also something that persons will consider as well. Jamaica has a good relationship in terms of having played a lot of teams from the continent of Africa. Jamaica has played South Africa more than once. Jamaica has also played Zambia more than once. Jamaica has played Egypt, Ghana, right? And there's so many more teams that Jamaica has played from the African continent itself. Cameroon, you know what I'm saying? So these are experiences that Jamaica have had against countries from this continent. So let me go and answer some questions now in relation to what the possibility may bring in 2027 or 2029. You know what I'm saying? Shaquille Turner says, if we enter, would it be full strength team? I doubt it though. It really depends, Shaquille. Let's say that Jamaica are invited to the 2027 edition of the Africa Cup of Nations. If the tournament is in January, February, well, quite naturally, you have that leeway where English Premier League clubs have to release the players that are in the Africa Cup of Nations. We saw that with Salah and with Mane and with so many other, Eric Bailly when he was at Manchester United playing regularly. It was the same sort of trend as well. You know what I'm saying? And if Jamaica are to be invited 2027, 2029, then you would have to expect the same sort of treatment. If a player is called up for the Africa Cup of Nations in a January, February window, then fine. What would be the challenge is if the Gold Cup and the Africa Cup of Nations overlaps. So if the Africa Cup of Nations switches back to a June, July tournament, then that would be an issue. Put it that way, because when you bear in mind that the Gold Cup and the Africa Cup of Nations, if they are to have the same dates, then of course the priority would be the Gold Cup itself. However, as it stands, we're looking at a January, February African Cup of Nations for the foreseeable future. Nothing has been changed in relation to those factors in relation of going back to 2019, which was a January, February sort of tournament. You know what I'm saying? Imagine a Jamaica versus Nigeria final, Mr. Galaxy says. It will be a compelling match, you know. Yeah, Jamaica's played Nigeria. Andy the Bomber Williams scored in the 90th minute in 2003. You guys remember that? Jamaica were up 2-0, you know, and Andy Lowe and Michael Johnson putting us 2 goals ahead. Then Nigeria struck back, bang, bam, 2-2. Then the last kick of the game, Andy Williams made it 3-2 from the near post. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. We've taken on Egypt at an under 20 World Cup, our first ever point at an under 20 World Cup game against an African team. The first ever game we played at an under 17 World Cup was against an African team in Burkina Faso. So Jamaica has history against African teams, generally speaking. Bada selector, the reality of the situation is that Jamaica has not been invited. First of all, the Africa Cup of Nations for 2024 is going to stick with teams in the Confederation of Africa. What I'm making the point of this video is that the Confederation of African Football are considering the possibility of expanding the tournament in the future to invited teams. As I've said before, the CONCACAF Gold Cup and the Copa America have had invited teams within the past. And also in 2027, the Asia Cup is also looking to have invited teams within that tournament as well. So, in relation to the Africa Cup of Nations, we're talking about the possibility of having invited teams to the tournament, and two confederations that are being closely considered for this invitation as being an invited team in the Africa Cup of Nations lie from the continents of South America and also CONMEBOL and also from CONCACAF as well. So that is something that we have to understand as well. And I know you guys hit the like button, and after you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. Okay? Big deal, Len. I don't know if you watched this video from minute 1 or if you watched it from minute 14. But again, I'm going to reiterate the point that in CONCACAF and in the Copa America, there have been invited teams. I'm stressing the point that for the 2024 edition of the Africa Cup of Nations, the tournament will remain a 24-team event, and in addition to that, it will only feature teams from the African Football Confederation. For the 2025 and the 2027 and the 2029 editions of the Africa Cup of Nations, it's being considered to invite teams from CONMEBOL and also from CONCACAF as well. So this is something that is being considered by the Confederation of African Football. If you want my thoughts about it, if the Confederation of African Football is to have invited teams, I would embrace it. It is more opportunities to play football, and it gives an opportunity to test what we are. Not many opportunities we get to play against African teams. So it is something that I would relish if the opportunity is presented towards Jamaica. So that is something that you all would have to bear in mind. American Youth Travel says, big up, Simon. Big up. How are you doing, man? I hope you're doing well. That's what it would bring as well. But again, it will always depend on what is the schedule is like, because I'm going to reiterate what's going to happen over the next few years. This summer is the Gold Cup. After the Gold Cup, it's the Nations League. After the Nations League, we're going to have the Copa America. After the Copa America, it's another edition of the Nations League. After the next edition of the Nations League, there's going to be World Cup qualifying. Well, there's going to be World Cup qualifying in 2024 as well. And in addition to World Cup qualifying, there's going to be Gold Cup 2025. And after Gold Cup 2025, more World Cup qualifiers. And 2026, February, March window thereabouts, it's going to be the Intercontinental Playoffs. And in addition to the Intercontinental Playoffs, what's going to happen? It's going to be a situation where there will be the World Cup in June, July 2026. So between now, put it this way, the next 37 months will be a busy time for Jamaican football. The next 37 months will be a busy time for Jamaican football. Okay? So that's what we can bear in mind. Jamaican Youth Travel says, if Jamaica was chosen to play in the African Cup of Nations, that would be fantastic. I would enjoy watching. Jamaican Youth Travels, having Jamaica there, whether it might be 2025, 2027, 2029, whenever that might be, I think would be a great opportunity, because not only would Jamaica be playing on the continent of Africa as well, but it's now opening networks and opening opportunities. We played in back-to-back Copa Americas. How many teams can say that they've done that? Not many people can say that they've done that. But Jamaica has done that, and Jamaica has the strong possibility to join the likes of Mexico and the United States as other teams that have been to the Copa America more than twice. That's the strong possibility that Jamaica has. That's the strong possibility that Jamaica has to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? Tilo, says documentary. Okay. Bless up, everybody. So I hope you guys understand the essence of this video in particular and what it means, because it is something that we should be thinking about. We should be pondering on. But like I said to you guys, this is the future. This is not tomorrow morning. This is not next year. Maybe not even 2025, because 2025, as you know, we're looking at potentially a Gold Cup as well in 2025 as well. So you think about it and you say to yourself, what windows are there outside of the FIFA windows that are for the Nations League, for the Gold Cup and for World Cup qualifying? Well, simply put, the situation of this: December Remember, Caribbean Cups used to be in the month of December. Yep, and Jamaica won Caribbean Cups in the month of December. 2008, 2010, I believe 2014 was in November, thereabouts. So those are windows for the, if we want to consider other opportunities to play football matches outside of the CONCACAF that it might be. So, as I said, guys, this video in particular is something that you guys can ponder upon in terms of the future. Jamaica and opportunities in terms of playing, it's something that will come in time. For now, what we have to think about is to plan ahead towards this summer that lies ahead. I want you all to think deeply about getting behind the team. If you guys haven't already, are you guys going to find your way to Soldier Field in Chicago, or to City Park in St. Louis, Missouri, or Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California, or to the quarterfinals in Cincinnati, Ohio, or to the semifinals, whether in San Diego or in Las Vegas, or to the final in Inglewood, California? I hope you guys made note of these venues as well. All right? Because very, very likely, all being well, we're going to play at some of these venues in the World Cup as well. And again, Soldier Field in Chicago, City Park Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri, the Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California, the quarterfinals in Cincinnati, Ohio, the semifinals in either Las Vegas or, that's right, San Diego, and the final in Inglewood, California. So that is what we can bear in mind, and that is what we need to think about in relation to the Gold Cup matches that lie ahead. I've mentioned this before, and I'm going to mention this again. The November 2023 FIFA ranking is extremely critical to Jamaica. Right now, we're in the month of May, right? There's June, July, August, September, October, November. There's 6 months to go before the November 2023 FIFA ranking. Why is the November 2023 FIFA ranking so critical and so important? Well, the November 2023 FIFA ranking is what is the ranking that will be used to determine seedings for the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. So Jamaica will know based on their ranking, would they avoid, say, a Mexico? Not Mexico, but a Panama or a Costa Rica or a Honduras. Based on where Jamaica is in terms of the seedings, will determine that in particular. So that is something that you can bear in mind. That's the November 2023 FIFA rankings. The 4 lowest ranked teams in CONCACAF will compete in the first round. Right now, when you look at the 4 lowest teams, you're looking at US Virgin Islands, the Turks and Caicos Islands, Anguilla, and probably Bahamas. And then once those 4 goes down to 2, then you have the second round where you'll have 30 teams and joining the 2 winners. And basically what's going to have, you're going to have 6 groups and 5 teams in each group. 6 groups and 5 teams in each group. So Jamaica's going to play the 4 teams in the group, but not everybody home and away. Again, the Nations League will prepare us because we're going to play a team at home, but we're not necessarily going to play them away. You understand what I'm saying there? So hopefully you guys get the drift of what I'm saying here, where this matter is concerned. Extremely critical for us so that we know how we can plan things moving forward. All right? So that's for us to bear in mind, and that's for us to plan out in things. Okay? So that's what we need to make special and keen note about. And I know many of you guys have been saying, Simon, what about the schedule for the CONCACAF Nations League? When is that going to come out? The schedule for the CONCACAF Nations League will be revealed by CONCACAF in due course. The first match day is in September. Okay? So the Gold Cup ends in July, and September is when the Nations League begins. Jamaica in Group B, alongside Haiti, Honduras, Cuba, Suriname, and Grenada. 1 team out of those 5 that I made mentioned, Jamaica will not play. All right. Here's Nguna. How are you doing, man? Hope you're doing good. John Russell says, up Simon, just checking in. Hope you're doing good, guys. If you guys haven't already, hit the like button. And after you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Okay, guys? Would really appreciate it. Thank you. And if you guys haven't already, do check out the earlier video that took place early today. Okay, there was a video earlier today in relation to the Ryan Thompson and his interview. Okay, so you guys can watch the interview, I should say, with Ryan Thompson. Okay. Jason Guna says, bless up, Simon. Bless up. Hope you're doing good. BM, how are you doing, man? All is well? Eligible. I'll give that some thought, sir. I'll give that some thought for sure. Most definitely. I'll give it some thought. Yep. So that is the situation that we have right now. Hope you guys found this informative. Hope you guys found this video helpful and that you guys were able to understand things. I'm doing all right, thanks, and I hope you are doing okay. Are you guys aware, right, of the busy summer that lies ahead, right? Because Jamaica, so you have the CSE games, you have the Gold Cup, you have the Women's World Cup, you have Nations League, you have the Women's Olympic qualifier, you have Pan American Games. That's how busy this year looks like. So from June to the rest of this calendar year, and even going into next year, there's going to be an excitement. So that's what I'd say there. That is the situation. All right. So yeah, guys, make sure you hit the like button. And after you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, okay? Make sure you do that right away. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing what each and every single one of you guys have to say. Okay? You guys know exactly what you need to do so you can be up to speed with everything. Yeah. Yeah, this is important. Very important in relation to the future that lies ahead. So this is key. Very important. All right. Is he my favorite? Current? All of them. Starboys Juices Philly says, bless up Simon P from Philadelphia. Sir Perry, big up yourself, my boss. Hope you're doing well. Big up yourself, Starboys. Enough love, enough respect. Big up everybody. You don't know. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Great to hear from you, man. Good to hear from you, man. You guys see the rain outside? This rain is pouring, 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 pouring. To be fair, though, I don't mind because you guys know how extremely hot it has been quite recently. So we actually need this rain. I don't even mind if it rains between now and next week. Honestly speaking, I wouldn't mind. Rain between now and next week, that's fine with me. Yeah. So that's that. That's where we are, That is where we are. That is the situation that we have now. First of all, as well, we want to say congratulations to the under 20 Reggae girls that recorded a 4-1 victory over Panama today in the CONCACAF Women's Under 20 Championship. And to Amelia Van Zanten, who scored her first goal for Jamaica. Feeling confident for the FA Cup this weekend? I am. I'm very confident for this weekend. Even without Anthony Martial, I am feeling very confident about the FA Cup final. I just feel in finals that sometimes Pep overthinks it. And I think it's a great opportunity to be able to get the second piece of silverware and stop Man City from the trouble. Inter Milan are going to stop City from the trouble. I mean, United has to stop City from the trouble. So, big game on the weekend. And I know people will be very nervous about it. Saturday, 9 a.m., Man City versus Man United. We're ready. We're ready. Mr. Galaxy says a dream calendar year. It is a good year, isn't it? Yeah. So that's what I would say there, you know. Don't worry, Mr. Galaxy. We'll be there at the Under 20 World Cup quite soon. Yeah. We'll be there for sure. For sure. Christopher Wright, I'm not sure if you watched last week Thursday's video. Last week Thursday's video, I spoke about specific dates for you to make note about in relation to the Gold Cup. All right. So I told everyone to get their pen and paper to make note about it. So CONCACAF will be making public the provisional rosters for each team at the Gold Cup in June. The final 23 will be selected some 24 to 48 hours before the first game of the Gold Cup. The provisional 50 to 60 member squad, that list will be revealed by CONCACAF in early June. All right? Yeah. Leeds are falling apart. Leeds are falling apart. Leeds are falling apart. And it's compelling because Juventus, they have to pay £620,000 in fines, settlement with the Italian football authorities. That's 700,000 euros. It's part of a settlement agreement with the Italian football authorities over a case concerning payment of player salaries. They reduct 10 points over a separate investigation into the club's past transfer dealings. And the settlement means Juventus have accepted a 10-point penalty and will not receive a further points deduction. It brings an end to any ongoing case involving them. Interesting, but we'll see. I mean, it means Juventus will not play Champions League next year, you know? Yeah, man, no problem. No problem at all. I encourage you to go and check it out. Please do. Very important. Very important that you go check it out. It's key. All right. So yeah, as mentioned last week, early June, 60-player roster, provisional squad, and then it'll be cut to 23 hours before the tournament. Yes, Jamaica has played Nigeria on numerous occasions. Jamaica played Nigeria in 96, 97, thereabouts. Well, 98. 98, Jamaica played Nigeria. It was a 2-2 draw at the office. Jamaica's taken Nigeria in London. That match ended 1-0. Jamaica's played Nigeria in Nigeria. That match ended 0-0. Jamaica also played Nigeria in 2003. That match, Jamaica won 3-2. And there was this Unity Cup in 2004, I believe. Jamaica lost to Nigeria 2-0 in that game in particular. 2009, Jamaica also played Nigeria, and that match ended 0-0. That was a game where Teddy Johnson got a red card and Taiwo got a red card as well. So Jamaica was down to 10 players both games. That was a game where that was Dean Burton's last cap for Jamaica. That was also a game where Zavon Hines was on the bench. And that was also the game as well where Tyrone Mears played for Jamaica. And that's a game where Sean Sawyers also played for Jamaica as well. BM, each squad, each tournament, each confederation has their separate rules. Pakanka Cup, it's a 23-player roster. Sherman Scott says, Maypen Clarendon in the show. Big up Simon. Gold Cup time. Time flies, isn't it? We have literally 1 day to go. 1 day in the month of May to go. And you know what that means? After that, it means that June is around the corner. Yeah. The name Reggae Boys was given by the Africans to Jamaican football team. I heard a story that Jamaica took on South Africa and that there was a welcome sign that says, Welcome the Reggae Boys. That's what I heard. That's something that I understand. Yeah. That's my understanding. The early 90s for me, a little bit fuzzy in terms of my memory. You know, like my mom keeps on telling me that we went to Hawaii, son, we went to Hawaii. The only thing I remember from Hawaii is pictures that I see of me on the plane or me in Hawaii physically. That's the only thing I physically remember from Hawaii, you know? But apart from that, I don't remember Hawaii, you know? So the 90s, yeah, it's an interesting time frame, you know? Yeah, that's what I would say there, you know? From that sort of standpoint. So. Yep. So that is the situation. Yeah. I mean, I know there's a League Two team that finished 5th in the EPL this year. I was like, wow. A League Two team finishing 5th. I was like, wow. Unbelievable. Yeah. It just shocked me. But that League Two team is going to play Europa League next year. So when they play Thursday, Sunday, you can only imagine how that's going to affect them. You know what I'm saying? That's like you spending 2 years in England, or remember. Is that like your first 2 years of your life? And speaking about missing individuals, Manchester United forward Anthony Martial will miss the FA Cup final due to hamstring injury. He suffered a muscle tear on Tuesday. Well, the club confirmed it today. So that's the situation there. In relation to Eric Ten Hag, he said that Anthony would be available, or I should say possibly will be available for the game. But Martial, you know what? Despite him not having the output that we may desire, he did remain fit for the vast majority of that time, you know, especially when Anthony was out, you know. So, and when Rashford was out, granted, he didn't play 90 minutes every game, but he did play 60, 70. And then Weghorst came on. What Weghorst brought that Martial didn't was being available. And you can't question that. You being available and being fit is something that you can't ignore at all. And that is what Weghorst brought. So in many ways, you have to praise Weghorst for being available and being that option, you know? So That's something for us to consider, really. Should be. So we wish him all the best as well in his recovery. So yeah, be interesting to see if Dean Anderson comes back to United or if he's going to stay, meaning go to another club. So he's Chung is going to Birmingham. Who knows if Curacao might name him in their squad for the Gold Cup. Damani Miller, Wickham Wanderers. So he's making strides as well. Tom Huddlestone, 36, and he's at United. So that's what I'll say there. Beach football. The last time that Jamaica had a beach football team, we have to go back to the days of Fabian Davis, Roderick Reed, Rohan Reed, Edsel Scott. We'll have to go back to the days of Jermaine Tuffy Anderson, that sort of era, you know, that era of players. That's what I would say, you know. Pizza. You take him at United another year. Jack Butland, does he return to Crystal Palace? You'd expect that he may go back to Crystal Palace. Martin Dubravka, he played for Manchester United once, and I came in the League Cup, so he would go on to get a medal. You know what I'm saying? Dishon Bernard, he received some good applause. You know what I'm saying? But give me a second, guys. 1 second. Yeah. Yes. So that is the situation there. Ordain TV says, highly blessed and water wash with the rest. I'm telling you, see the rain, Ordain TV? The rain was crazy. The rain was unbelievable. Crazy today. Hitman Chef says, big up, Simon. Big up, Hitman. How are you? All is well? Hope you are doing well and everything. Imani Mello went on loan at Rochdale, got some good games under his belt as well, you know? So that was that. Nitrous as Simon says, okay. If you guys haven't already, hit the like button. And after you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Okay, guys? So, first thing first, all right? For those individuals that tuned in late, I'm going to reiterate. In the Gold Cup, in the Copa America, we've seen invited teams from time and time again. In the Gold Cup, we've had Colombia and Peru and Ecuador and South Korea and South Africa and Qatar. In Copa America, we've seen Japan, we've seen Mexico, Honduras, Costa Rica, Jamaica, USA. You see what I'm saying? And the Africa Cup of Nations are considering having invited teams in the future editions of the Africa Cup of Nations, perhaps 2025, 2027, 2029. And the reason why I bring it up is because there could be a possibility. So we shall see what the future brings. And I think it's important that we think about the possibility that could exist and we open our minds to other opportunities. It's not something that we have to go out and say, hey, we're available. If the Confederation of Africa believes that Jamaica is worthy of being invited, we will be invited. We will. Everything time. Damien Former Gregor says, just read Simon. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening to you, sir. Not sure if you tuned in late, but basically what's going to happen is that in the future, you're going to have the Asian Cup in 2027 expand to include invited teams, and the Africa Cup of Nations are planning an expansion to invited teams as well. So this is a possibility where you could have teams from CONCACAF and CONMEBOL being invited to the Africa Cup of Nations. And of course, this is because of the situation where you have players in CONMEBOL and in CONCACAF whose ancestors came from the continent of Africa. So it's a way of uniting the roots and the persons in the Western Hemisphere together. So that's what's happening there. All right. So that you guys can. Well, not to my understanding, but if it is that specified number, we wish him a speedy recovery, and that he's able to get all the rehab that he needs. So that's my hope of the situation. All right, guys. As I said, early June, provisional 60-player list at CONCACAF will released. CONCACAF will release it. Nitro, not necessarily, because remember the Africa Cup of Nations in January and February, clubs are compelled to release players for the Africa Cup of Nations, specifically in January, February. The Salahs, the Manes of this world, the Aubameyang's, they've been released for their clubs. In particular, Eric Bailly. There's a reason why Jose Mourinho didn't sign a lot of African players. Same with Sir Alex Ferguson. There's a reason why he didn't sign a lot of African players, because they know January, February, during the crucial time of the year, that they would be losing a lot of players or missing a lot of players. Yeah. I realize that. Mr. Galaxy. And I know the situation is injuries, but you never know in football. In football, when it comes to team selection, things can just change like that. Yeah. Just like that. Thank you very much for your super chat, sir. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for your loyal support to the channel. Thank you very much for always commenting. Thank you very much for always liking Jason Guna. Much appreciated, and commiserations of the season that Arsenal had this year. But better days are ahead for Arsenal Football Club, and I know that trophies will continue to be around the corner for you and for Arsenal Football Club. Greatness on the horizon. You're going very far in this life. Very, very far. Okay? So that's what I want you to know. Okay? So that's what I would say. And things, okay? So yeah. I think that's harsh to say that. I think that's very harsh to say that. But it's the reality of the situation why he didn't sign many African players. It's the truth. He wanted Leslie Ferdinand, but he couldn't get Leslie Ferdinand. You know what I'm saying? And there's a few other names that I could mention to you, but he didn't get. He was an admirer of Sol Campbell. He did believe that Irishman. He did believe that Paul McGrath was one of the best defenders that he had. But, the drinking and so on affected Paul McGrath. If Paul McGrath's drinking didn't affect him, I'm sure Paul McGrath would have been one of the best defenders in the Premier League. I'm that confident about it. Paul McGrath is an individual, one of the best, That one name, log on, and step on, log on. The Elephant Man song, that one name, log on. Yeah, but in all seriousness, though, yeah. So what's the situation? The situation is this: in CONMEBOL, in North America, we've had invited teams at Gold Cups and in Copa Americas. In relation to Europe, in particular, they've considered about having South American teams at the Euros in the future. Where the Africa Cup of Nations is concerned, 2025, 2027, 2029, the possibility exists that you could have invited teams to the tournament. So yeah. Jason Gooner, I'm not avoiding you at all, my friend. Not at all. But I don't speak speculation. I speak facts. So if there's something that I do not know, I'm not going to say it. Renald Cephas and Norman Campbell, Jamaica, Silent Beast growing. Shamar Nicholson. That was a song, man, I tell you. And then I still listen to the song. Sway! Sway! Big song, that man. Big song. But seriously though, Siobhan Brown, the rhythm used for that song, the liquid rhythm, I think that's the best rhythm ever. Tanto Metro and Devante, the one in that rhythm. You have Elephant Man doing one in that rhythm. You have Sean Paul, the one with that rhythm. You have Wayne Marshall, the one in that rhythm as well. One more do a song in that rhythm. But you get my point. Plenty of people do it in that rhythm. Yeah. 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 So yeah. But it was a song. That was quite a song, may I tell you. How the next one go? Oh yeah. But Massacre do one of the best songs of this era now. Image, style of him, star ball and a skimmage. Ready and never leave me rock a bugger. Know the thing of the day, bring a bugger. Yep, more proper to put on Galata. Yeah, man, Massacre the boss, man. Now, you guys know what's 438 times 2? 876. That is just so coincidental, isn't it? You think so? All right, I'm not gonna go on like some dancehall expert, you know. But every man have a preference in terms of the rhythm and the tune and them something. I am not a music expert. I can just tell you what I like from that sort of standpoint. But I would never tell you that I'm a music expert or I'm an aficionado in this sort of industry. But we get your point that you're saying. I really do. I understand it full time. Yes, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate your support. If you guys haven't already, please hit the like button. And after you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Okay, guys? More content to come your way tomorrow. There's some information that you should know in relation to Amari Bell's club and what lies ahead. So, something to really think about. Fergie Pep, who is a better manager? Sir Alex Ferguson, hands down. Sir Alex Ferguson, the better manager than Pep. You know, Sir Alex Ferguson did things from a shoestring budget. In Sir Alex Ferguson's entire time at Manchester United, he spent £330 million. And when you stretch it over his time frame, £30 million a season, compared to Pep, who has to spend 3 times that. Pep needs 4 right backs to get the job done, and 5 goalkeepers before he can win the title. Sir Alex Ferguson is the motivator. I'll give Pep his credit when it comes to the tactics. But you make Pep Guardiola manage Fleetwood Town, Accrington Stanley, Workington Town, and let's see how far he would go with that thoroughbred English side, bastion English side, like Terry Butcher with his head bandage. No, that is what I would say. City Lock. Okay. All right. All right. I'll listen to it. And guess what? The next time I do a live, you're going to say, Simon, give me your thoughts about it. And then I'll give you my thoughts. All right. Remember, next time, next live, that's what you do. Good. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys haven't already, hit the like button. And after you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button to Reggae Boys Commentary. All right, guys. Speak soon. This video is brought to you by Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471. This video is brought to you by Starboy's Juices. Infusing fruits with sea moss in Philadelphia and New Jersey. Refreshing and nutritious. Call Starboys at 1-267-904-3454. That's 1-267-904-3454. Hey guys, thank you so much for taking your time out to watch this video in particular. But let me give you an update on a channel called Sport City. Yes, Sport City. It is a channel dedicated to everything related to Jamaican sports. Football, cricket, athletics, netball, rugby league, rugby union, tennis, lacrosse, swimming, you name it, we got it on Sport City. And what is the channel designed to do? It is designed to highlight Jamaican talents across all of those sporting disciplines. If you're a Jamaican and you're playing that sport, then we got you covered on Sport City. So it's quite simple, guys. Hit the subscribe button to Sport City right now.
Hi, my name is Lee Williamson. Subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary.
Hi, my name is Joby McAnuff. Subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary.
I'm Javon Watson, and you're watching Reggae Boys Commentary.
Hi everybody, I'm Darren Moore, and you're watching Reggae Boys Commentary.
Skin clean and nice and ting and ting. I'm Tiffany Cameron, Reggae Girl Striker, and you are watching the Reggae Boys Commentary. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, Reggae Boys Commentary, like and subscribe, yeah? Reggae Boys Commentary, like, share, and subscribe.
Reggae Boys Commentary. Subscribe, like, and share. Is that the right order?
Hi, I'm Chris Binney, and I'm Jamaica's #1 squash player and 9-time Caribbean champion, and you're watching Reggae Boys Commentary. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share button below.
Yes, Reggae Boys Commentary, like and subscribe, yeah?
Reggae Boys Commentary. Subscribe, like, and share.
Reggae Boys Commentary, like, share, and subscribe.
Hi everybody, I'm Darren Moore, and you're watching Reggae Boys Commentary.
This video is brought to you by Starboy's Juices. Infusing fruits with sea moss in Philadelphia and New Jersey. Refreshing and nutritious. Call Starboys at 1-267-904-3454. That's 1-267-904-3454.
Skin clean and nice and ting and ting. I'm Tiffany Cannon, Reggae Girl Striker, and you are watching the Reggae Boys Commentary. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.